All right. Good day, everyone. So, how are you guys doing? Okay. So, this afternoon we'll be talking about why some lands near the airport appreciate faster. Right. So, I think I've had this topic in mind for some time. So, I just thought to put it out here and do justice to it because I've seen how important it is, especially in Port Harcourt, right? Especially in Port Harcourt. So, we want to talk about why some lands near the airport appreciate faster. Right. So a lot of people assume that once a land is newly launched, right, that it will automatically be a good investment. Like once it's launched, that means it's a good investment, right? But in reality, not every land is worth buying. That's the truth. And not every location we appreciate the same way. Not every location we appreciate the same way. And that's why in this video I'll break down why Omagwa in Rivers State is getting attention of recent. Right, there's a recent attention as to how investors move into that location. Right, so I will explain why it is getting attention and who this type of land is actually for and who it's not for. Alright, so just stay with me through this video. I'll walk you through why Omagwa is getting attention. Right, so and again, it is important if you're looking for clarity, right? If you're looking for clarity and not hype, then this video will be helpful to you. Right, the video. And firstly, most importantly, I don't recommend every land I see. Right, I don't recommend every land I see, and I don't believe that every investor must jump on every opportunity. I don't believe that every investor must jump on every opportunity. All right, so that is why you have to think or see this video as a case study, right? As a case study, because I see it as a case study on how I personally assess a location before I even think of recommending it for an investment, right? So just see the video as a case study. Okay, so first of all, let's talk about Omagwa. Right, let's talk about Omagwa. So Omagwa is strategically located around the Port Harcourt international and domestic airports. Right, that's to say it's already positioned for an important infrastructure. Right, it's in an important corridor that gives room for such type of infrastructure. So it's in a good location, and I have discovered that areas around the airport tend to attract stuff like logistic businesses, tend to attract stuff like hospitality, and even residential, like the residential demand, like from the workers and investors, right? Residential demand from workers and investors. So areas that are close to this type of infrastructure tend to attract stuff like this. Hospitality, logistic businesses tend to thrive in those areas, and demand for residential buildings by the workers and the investors, right? So, and in addition to that, Omagwa hosts key institutions like the police college and even a 20,000 units housing project that is being funded by the government. Right, a 20,000 housing unit project that's been funded by the government. Good. And once the government presence and institutions are moving into a location, then it is safe to say that location it really signals long-term infrastructure development, not overnight profits, right? Long-term infrastructure attention, not overnight profits. Once the government or any institution is moving into a place, it signals long-term infrastructure attention, not overnight profits. Okay, so now this is very important, and it's important I say because it will help you a lot. Omagwa is not a quick flip, right? It's not a quick flip location. It's not a location where you want to invest and you expect your return in 3 to 6 months, right? It's not in Omagwa. So if you're looking to buy land today and you want to double of your money in 6 months time, and that means this location may not be a good fit for you, right? May not be a good fit for you. So this kind of location, is best for people that are ready to hold for long term. That's long-term investors, right? People that are buying ahead of development, right? Builders that understand future demand. Long-term investors, people that are buying ahead of development, and builders that understand long-term future demands. Okay, because I believe that patience matters a lot when it comes to this kind of investment, and I know that land investment rewards foresight more than urgency. Land investment rewards foresight more than urgency. So for this location, if you're interested in quick flip, right, mostly in 3 to 6 months, then it's not a good fit for you, right? So there's another thing I discovered, that now within this Omagwa, there's a newly launched estate that recently caught my attention, right? And here is why. There's a newly launched estate that recently caught my attention. Now, firstly, is that it is properly planned. It's not a scattered land. It is properly planned with a perimeter fence, right? And secondly, the documentation is very clear, including a registered survey, a deed of conveyance, which is very important at this stage of development, right? And thirdly, is the plot size is a standard plot size, which makes future resale and development easier. It's not like the other irregular land sizes. It's a standard plot size. That's to say, future development and resale will be much more easier. So I think these are the primary things I look out for before thinking of recommending a land to anyone to buy, right? So at the moment, the land is available at its pre-launch price, right, which I think reflects the current development stage of that area. Yes, and it's often important to know that land and price alone shouldn't be the reason to buy, right? Price alone shouldn't be the reason to buy, but when pricing aligns with future potential and documentation clarity, when pricing aligns with future potential and documentation clarity, then it becomes important to consider such price at such time, right? When pricing aligns with future potential and documentation clarity, it becomes important to consider such prices. Okay, so another important thing is that I want to be clear about something. I want to be clear about who this land is not for, right? Now, it's not for people that are buying based on pressure, right? It's not for people who want immediate returns. It's not for people who want to. It's not also for people who don't plan to hold the land for a long time. Okay, because I understand that a good land for one person can be a bad land for another, and that's okay. Yes, that's okay. A good land for one person can be a bad land for another, and that's okay. So it's not for people who wants to buy with pressure. It's not for people who are looking for quick returns, right? And if you're not ready to hold long term, then probably this land or this location may not be suitable for you, right? And this type of location and investment makes sense to those who are ready to hold long term. That's long term investors who are thinking 3 to 5 years ahead, right? Also people planning future residential and rental development, right? And also buyers who understand that infrastructure growth takes time, right? Buyers understand that infrastructure growth takes time. So this kind of land makes sense for such type of people. So if you eventually fall into this category of people who are ready to hold long term within 3 to 5 years ahead, who are planning future residential and rental development, buyers who understand that infrastructure development or growth takes time, then this Omagwa is a location worth watching closely. All right, it's a location you need to watch closely because what you're actually looking for is in that location. So if you're considering land investment and you want guidance, right, based on your goals, not pressure, based on your goals, I know I'm emphasizing this, based on your goals, not pressure, then my WhatsApp will be in the description below, so you can reach out to me. So I'll help you decide whether this is a good fit, whether it makes sense to you or not, honestly. All right, so thanks for watching, and it's important to make informed decision. All right, so see you guys later.